The best product leaders aren't just product managers. They are part psychologists, part economists, part strategists. They see the world through a lens of first principles. But how do you move from theory to practice? How do you stop being a victim of chaos and start being the architect of your own outcomes? This is the Sovereign PM, the podcast that deconstructs the ideas of product strategist Schwarzkopf to give you a more powerful way to think and lead. It's time to own your outcomes. Let's begin.
As product leaders, we operate in this really interesting paradox, right? We carry this huge weight of responsibility for the product, its success, its very soul, but actual direct authority over the engineering teams, the marketing teams, that's often just not there.
It's a classic influence without authority situation.
Exactly. You can't just order innovation into existence. And I think for a long time, we've leaned on the idea that influence comes from, the perfect roadmap or just tons of data or these brilliantly crafted PRDs.
Right, the artifacts.
Yeah. But what if those are just the outputs? What if we're missing the underlying operating system?
That's precisely the core argument in our source material for this deep dive. It suggests that real influence, the kind that actually moves the needle, that gets teams truly excited and convinces skeptical stakeholders.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come from logic or volume.
Okay.
It comes from something the source calls charisma. Now, hold on. Before you picture some slick salesperson.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Right. This isn't about superficial charm. It's framed as an internal operating system.
Yeah.
It's the outward sign of being authentic, strong, and genuinely empathetic inside. And the argument is, this is the absolute key to leading without that formal power in these complex product orgs.
So it's like deconstructing a charisma code. I like that.
That's the idea. Let's decode it.
All right, let's dive into the first principle then. The source calls it vitalitate, translating that from features to fire the power of your why. And the core idea feels almost deceptively simple. Real charisma, real influence, it grows from genuine passion. There's that great quote, and you must burn what you want to ignite in others.
Best in a hippo. Powerful stuff.
It really is. It's not just about showing goals on a slide. It's about sparking something, connecting all the tasks back to the fundamental human problem we're solving.
And that's exactly where I think the system often trips us up as product leaders.
Yeah.
We get so completely absorbed in the features, the sprints, the tickets, the never-ending bug list.
The daily grind.
Totally. And the why just gets buried. Presentations turn into these dry recitations of what we shipped. Stand-ups become status reports. That fire, that vitalitate, it just fizzles out.
But it's not always just us, right? There's immense pressure.
Oh, absolutely. It's systemic. The pressure to just ship, it can unintentionally snuff out the very passion that drove us to do this in the first place.
So if the why is so easily lost, how do we practically reignite that flame day to day? The source has a couple of really tangible ideas. First up, the mission minute.
Right.
Starting key meetings, sprint planning, roadmap reviews, stakeholder updates with just 1 minute focus back on the core mission. But here's the key part. It's not just stating the goal again.
No, it's about the pain.
Exactly. Use a real customer quote, a painful support interaction, a story about a user's actual struggle. It's not just fluff. It's like a psychological anchor. It pulls the team's work right back to the person they're building for.
It creates that immediate connection, that shared purpose. And the second technique builds right on that. Translate features into feelings. This is a big shift.
How so?
Instead of just saying what a feature does, like we're building a one-click export, you articulate the emotional outcome it delivers. The source gives that great contrast.
Ah, the peace of mind example.
Exactly. Not one-click export, but we're giving our users the confidence to walk into their boss's office prepared, not stressed. We're selling peace of mind. See the difference?
It's huge. It shifts from utility to impact. It taps into something deeper, those core human drivers.
Precisely. That's moving from just managing a product backlog to leading a mission.
Which really makes you think. For you listening, how brightly does your own fire burn for the problem you're solving? And how are you actually talking about your product's purpose? Is it features or is it feelings?
Good question.
Okay, let's move to the second principle. This one feels critical for those challenging stakeholder meetings. The art of the no strength and presence.
Sterk and present.
Right. And the source is clear. This isn't about being aggressive. Strength here is that quiet confidence to hold your ground, to defend the strategy. And presence. Well, it's about actually being there, listening fully, not just mentally prepping your counter-argument.
Oh, we've all been there. That moment when a powerful stakeholder comes in hot with an urgent request that just blows up your entire roadmap plan.
Happens all the time.
And in that moment, it's so easy for a PM, maybe trying to be agreeable or avoid conflict, to get flustered, make vague promises. Maybe, let me check.
Yeah, the non-committal commitment.
Exactly. And that just kills trust, both with the stakeholder and, crucially, with your own team. You might be physically in the room, but mentally, you're just thinking, how do I escape? That mental absence is incredibly damaging.
So how do we turn that around? How do we actually use strength and presence? The source talks about the calm no.
Which sounds simple, but the nuance is key.
It's not defiant, it's protective. You're protecting the team's focus, protecting the vision. The source contrasts the weak versus strong PM responses, remember?
Yeah, the weak one is like, interesting, capacity. Let me check and get back. It just screams lack of control.
Right. Whereas the strong PM calmly says something like, appreciate you raising this, understand the urgency from your side. This quarter, our focus is locked on goal X, which we all agreed was critical. Let's get your idea into our proof of value process so we can assess it properly for the next cycle.
See, it's not just no, it's no, because strategy plus a clear process for the future, it anchors back to agreed priorities. That builds trust, it doesn't break it.
And that ties directly into the other part. Practice active presence.
Being a servant to the listener, as the source puts it.
Which means consciously shifting your focus instead of using their talking time to plan your brilliant comeback.
You just listen with the real intent to understand the need behind the request.
Yeah.
What's the actual job to be done here?
And when people feel genuinely heard, not just waited out.
Their defensiveness just melts away. Awesome. The whole conversation shifts. It becomes collaborative, not combative, because you validated their reality first.
Makes you reflect, doesn't it? Where do you tend to avoid those tough conversations? What are your avoidance patterns? And how might they be subtly undermining your strategy? And what could that calm, strategic no unlock for you and your team?
Food for thought.
Okay, principle number 3 feels like a natural follow-on. Speak their language empathy as a strategic tool. Pretty straightforward idea. Adapt how you communicate to who you're talking to.
You wouldn't talk code complexity to a sales leader, right?
Hopefully not. It's about that ability to connect with warmth, with empathy, to step into their world. That's fundamental to influence.
But the common mistake is that one-size-fits-all communication style. We see it all the time. PMs talking market share to engineers.
Or sprint velocity to the sales team.
Right. And the result? A total disconnect. Nobody feels understood. Important info gets lost or just ignored because it doesn't resonate with what actually drives them.
So the practical application here is translate to their currency. The source really emphasizes this. Every group has a primary currency of value. Our job is to be the translator, to take our strategy, our progress, and frame it in their terms. So for engineers,
It's not just build this. It's the technical challenge, the elegance of the approach, the craftsmanship. Their currency is often solving hard problems. Well, technical mastery.
makes sense. And for sales,
Forget story points. Talk competitive edge. Talk about how this feature handles objections. Give them the stories, the sound bites they need to close deals. Their currency. Winning. Commissions. Beating the competition.
and then for executives,
Step back from the feature details. Focus on risk mitigation, strategic positioning, ROI, market impact, the long-term health of the business. That's their currency, strategic advantage.
So it's way more than just changing a few words. It's about genuinely understanding different mental models, different incentive structures across the company.
That's strategic empathy in action. Really understand what makes different parts of the organization tick.
So take a second now, you listening. Map out the currencies of your key stakeholders. Who are they? What truly motivates them? And where might your current communication be missing the mark? Maybe creating friction or just failing to connect.
Crucial step.
All right, 4th principle. Beyond the spreadsheet, selling the vision with stories. This taps into something really deep about how humans connect. Stories, metaphors, they convey what the source calls erlebt Weisheit, experienced wisdom.
Yeah, they kind of bypass our logical defenses and hit us emotionally. Data rarely does that.
Exactly. We've all sat through presentations with bold visuals backed by, complex financial models and projections.
5-year plans laid out in intricate detail.
And the reaction is usually polite nods, maybe intellectual agreement, but nobody's jumping out of their seat ready to charge the hill.
Right. The vision stays abstract, cold, just numbers on a page. There's that gap between the data and, well, human aspiration.
So the antidote is to craft a future state narrative. Don't just list the features of your next big bet. Tell a story from a future user's perspective.
The source has that perfect SARE example. Instead of saying, our AI analytics gives predictive insights, 92% accurate, boosting engagement, 15%, which is, okay, factually correct but dry.
You paint the picture. Meet Sarah, marketing manager, drowning in data every Monday morning, feeling reactive. You establish the pain.
Then the transformation.
Yeah.
Now imagine Sarah next Monday. Our AI gives her one clear sentence. LinkedIn worked best. Double down here, here, and here. Suddenly she feels powerful, strategic.
That's what we're building, that feeling, that transformation.
It's so much more powerful. A good story literally transports people. It makes the benefits real, tangible, emotional, in a way no chart ever could.
It creates this shared mental picture of the future. Everyone can feel it, see themselves in it. It bridges that gap between understanding something intellectually and actually believing in it emotionally.
Emotional conviction. That's the goal.
So, for your next big pitch, that crucial request for buy-in, how can you shift from listing benefits to telling a compelling human story? Can you make them feel the future you envision?
Big challenge, big reward.
Okay, this brings us to the final principle, what the source calls the final level, your inner game, or Schattenarbeit, shadow work.
This is where it gets really deep.
Yeah, the idea is that all the external tactics, the communication styles, the no strategies, they're just the surface. Real, lasting influence comes from inner work. Confronting those parts of ourselves we tend to avoid our shadow.
There's that German proverb, wo deine Angst ist dein Weg. Where your fear is, there lies your path.
Powerful. And the source connects this directly to leadership weaknesses we see every day. Unaddressed fears showing up as tangible problems.
Right, like the PM who hates conflict. Their fear translates into a weak, compromised roadmap because they avoid the tough stakeholder calls.
Or the one who secretly fears not being the smartest. They might shy away from hiring truly brilliant people, leading to a B-player team.
Or the need for control manifests as micromanagement, crushing trust. These aren't just personality flaws. They're strategic liabilities born from inner blind spots.
So the starting point, and it takes courage, is to identify your shadow. The prompt is interesting. What leadership trait do you admire in others but quickly say, oh, that's just not me?
Is it that decisive, maybe even ruthless prioritization? Is it bold, status quo challenging vision?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's that deep, empathetic listening that really hears the subtext.
The source suggests that thing you disown is likely where your biggest growth edge lies, your biggest potential for influence.
And the way forward isn't some huge dramatic overhaul. It's about running small, safe experiments.
Tiny steps.
Exactly. If conflict scares you, don't aim to take down the CEO tomorrow. Just aim for one small, respectful disagreement this week. Feel the discomfort, navigate it.
If speaking up is hard, don't volunteer for the keynote. Just aim to contribute 1 point, maybe for 30 seconds, in the next team meeting.
It's about building that psychological muscle, bit by bit, proving to yourself the fear is manageable. Your path is through it, not around it.
And underpinning all this is the idea of embrace autotune, finding joy in the process itself.
Not just doing it in order to get promoted or get more budget or get praise.
But finding fulfillment in the actual act of building, leading, solving hard problems because you love the craft.
It taps into a much deeper, more sustainable drive for influence than just chasing external validation.
So the final provocation for you listening, which internal fear might be subtly shaping your leadership, maybe even your roadmap right now? And what's one small, safe experiment you could commit to this week to start exploring that edge, to begin playing that inner game of influence?
That's the real work.
What's become so clear through this deep dive is that genuine influence for us as product leaders. It's not just about mastering the external tools and techniques. It's fundamentally about cultivating that internal operating system, one built on authenticity, strength, and that deep strategic empathy.
It reframes the role. You're not just managing a product, you're leading a mission.
And the impact of that internal shift, it ripples outward. It affects your trajectory, sure, but also your entire organization's ability to really innovate.
Absolutely. It underlines that true impact starts from within. This isn't a finite course. It's a continuous journey of self-awareness and growth in leadership.
So maybe the best question to leave you with is this. Which of these principles we discussed today feels like the biggest stretch for you right now? And what's that one concrete small step you'll take this week to start working on that inner game? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
And that brings us to the end of this debrief. Our goal is to give you not just ideas, but a more powerful way to think. If you found value in this discussion, the best way to support this work is to give this episode a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a future session. And if you know a fellow product leader who is wrestling with these same challenges, feel free to share this episode with them. As always, you can find the link to the original in-depth article by Karsten Schwarzkopf directly in the description below. Thank you for your time and your attention. Stay sovereign.